지난번 걸그룹 인터뷰 조사할 때 제가 느낀 건데 음악 공연 영상 있잖아요.
예.
그 뉴진스 걸 보는데 함성 소리가 남자 목소리가 없어. 다 여자 목소리로 나오더라고. 근데 내가 다른 아이돌 공연도 보니까 다 여자들이야 목소리가. 그리고 뭐 그 연예인들 공연 끝나고 이제 방송국 앞에서 기다리잖아. 얼굴 보려고 가까이서. 다 여자들이야. 남자 되게 조금이야 진짜로. 그래서 이게 알게 모르게 쓱 바뀐 거야. 남자에서 여자로. 여자 팬클럽 무리들이 이제 여자 걸그룹을 많이 따라다니는 거를 그때 알게 됐고, 그래서 오늘 이거에 대해서 얘기해 보려고 해요. 실제로 이게 데이터적으로도 차이가 있는지.
Of course there is. So the trend is different now. A lot of girl-based idol group have a girl-based fandom like you mentioned. If you look up the data, you can actually see that all the trend is like concentrated into girl fandom rather than the boys. That's what the data says.
좀 근데 많이 차이가 나죠.
Like 95% girl, 5% guy.
어떤 계기로 걸그룹 팬층의 변화가 남자에서 여자로 바뀐 건가요, 이게?
Before we talked about the different concept and trends for each generation of K-pop idol groups. So the first generation was cute, second generation was sexy, and etc., right?
Yes.
The fourth generation to fifth is about the trend was girl crush. And from that stage onwards, the concept girl crush actually made girls idolize more on the, K-pop idol girl group.
그 크러쉬란 단어가 원래 있었잖아. 그 부시다?
Okay.
깨다 이런 단어잖아. 근데 왜 크러쉬를 여자한테 적용하는 거야?
Okay. So two meanings of crush. Crush is something you smash and break, right? And another meaning is to have a crush on someone. So you admire them. You want to have a relationship with them. Crush is kind of like a fling.
Fling?
Fling.
Fling?
Yeah. So I have a fling on, let's say, you.
Fall in love 이런 거 같은 거야?
It's not love. Yeah, it's not love. It comes and goes. The crush is more like a one-sided, attraction. You use those words when you're kind of like in the teenage years. You don't really say, oh, I love this person when you're in a teenage, stage of your life. You usually go, oh, I have a crush on her. I have a crush on him. The crush is like a first stage of your emotion developing into love,
그럼 근데 한국 사람들이 알기로는, 그러니까 제가 알기로는 걸크러쉬가 그냥 뭔가 이렇게 세 보이는 여자?
Yeah.
뭐 약간 그런 컨셉의 이미지인 줄 알았어요.
Yeah.
의미가 좀 다르네, 원래 영어는.
Because it's Konglish, it's Korean and English. Girl crush. The meaning has changed.
그럼 약간 의미가 그냥 호감, 애정, 뭐 요런 느낌이네.
Tone down level of love, of attraction. You admire something. That language or that word always seems to change when they enter a new culture, which in this case, the word entered the Korean culture. So the Korean idol marketed the word girl crush really well because it gives you a kind of a strong kind of feminine power feeling.
보통 방송에서는 이제 걸크러쉬라 하면 막 센 여자, 뭐 제시 같은 걸크러쉬다 하면서 막 존나 멋있다 막 이러는데 그거 다 잘못된 거네.
Right. Yeah.
한번 바로잡고 갈 수 있겠네요. 진짜로 잘못된 거니까. 그렇게 쓰는 게 아니라 이제 진짜 멋있다 하면 그냥 쿨이라고 해야 되는 거네. 크러쉬가 아니라.
Yeah. You could say like, oh, cool girls. But it sounds lame. So that's why you use girl crush. It rhymes as well. In the West pop culture, you could say Beyonce is girl crush. She's like the start of girl crush. A strong woman, independent, showing the willpower and giving the message to females that women are strong, we can do whatever we want. That kind of feeling.
그러면 이제 이 걸크러쉬라는 컨셉의 이름이 붙으면서 이때부터 이제 많은 변화가 시작되는 거죠.
Yeah.
그러면 여자가 여자를 이제 동경하게 되고 이제 여자에 대한 애정이 생긴 이런 이유가 있을 거 아니에요. 그러면 이게 동성 간의 그거잖아. 그리고 남자도 남자 배우를 보거나 혹은 남자 가수를 보면서도 와 멋있다 저 사람처럼 되고 싶다. 이렇게 될 수가 있는데 이런 거에 분명히 차이점이 있을 것 같거든요.
Okay. So let me get into this. It's widely known that the difference between male and female tend to come from making decisions and choices. Females tend to rely more on emotions, whereas males are predominantly focused on rationality when making choices and decisions. This is just an average data of the majority, and it doesn't mean that everyone is like this. But just going into this a little bit more in depth, females are more community orientated since they have maternal instincts and they're more emotional. That's why they are more social relatively to male. Where men, they are more task focused, conquest genes to be more exact. They tend to go towards multiplying and broadening their environment that they can control and manage. So like the law of attraction, males and females are drawn into each other for their differences. Kind of like this person has something that I don't. Therefore, my survival needs are increased by being with this person. But these days, those roles tend to change a lot, and it happens in same sex as well. I'm not talking about romantic attraction, but solely on admiration and a role model, someone to idolize, because they need that support in which they may not necessarily have in them right now. So for example, I want to be independent. I want to express how I feel when I feel like it, but I know my personality is not like that. And if I see someone of my same sex, another man, who does that, then I get to idolize them or idolize him because he has something that I don't, and I want that characteristic. This is where as I mentioned, the girl crush concept comes in. Females tend to be attracted to strong females who have a good characteristic of independence and strong will. Males tend to admire or praise conquerors or masters at their own craft, showing that males and females, although different, share a common trait to admire another person to look up to. And for men, I'll mention about the three kingdoms as an example. Have you heard of the three kingdoms?
I like that.
You like that, right?
Yes.
Because you're Korean, right?
Yes, because every Korean, my generation, same cartoon, Annie, leading. Always a library inside everything. Full story.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the Three Kingdoms is a real historical event that took place in China.
Yes, from China.
At the same time of when Greek and Rome civilization came to power. It is really famous in East Asia, especially amongst guys. It's like a Bible to the people, especially in Korea, because it's even taught in schools when you're young. They use examples from the story of human intellect, war strategy, and social to moral values. It contains everything. And it's a story of conquest, drama, battle, and adventure with incredible insights to each of the characters who appear in the story as well. And it actually portrays all the aspects of values in which males get mesmerized in, and they really want that kind of value in their life. So you can see how innately males are driven more into conquest, domination, and etc. in resulting to idolizing the same gender.
사실 여자들도 이 스토리를 알고 있지만 사실 남자들처럼 이렇게 되게 감동을 많이 받는 경우는 적게 본 것 같아요.
And for females, as an example, I'll use the girl group in Korea, Mamamoo, because their fandom is 95% female. And from the data and survey, it said that the reason is for the powerful appearance and strong confidence of dominating the stage, that kind of concept.
Yes.
So it shows that dominance and that confidence power as well, like we talked about before. And all of their songs are more into them taking the love to the boys rather than just waiting for the boys to come to them.
Oh, very cool.
So this is girl crush in Korean kind of concept. Since the culture is strongly set to boys approaching the girls, like no matter how much the girl like the boy, most of them don't ask the boy out first on a date. They wait and send signs and signals. It's a very traditional way, gender role that's embedded in Korean culture, and Mamamoo kind of broke that. That's why, a lot of female fans idolize them for their true strong womanship. So the K-pop industry took a notice in this, and from analyzing the sales in girl groups to boy idol groups, they found a strong shift in the gender market. This shows the shift of society views on the roles of a gender. So the feminism movement is getting stronger and more values are being accepted, whereas before it may have been dismissed. And if you look at the fashion trend as well, as an example, one of the most well-known brand is what? Chanel. I love Chanel. Shout out to Chanel. And the designer Coco Chanel first started with a corset for women, for them to emphasize their physique, because the society saw woman's beauty is in her physique and the curve. And then it evolved into boy looks or boxy clothing, where it got vast support from the feminist market. So even like women wearing a full tailored suits are seen sexy, and it created a new market and a new view on social levels. Another example would be an artist called Paulo, and she's a Mexican artist who became famous and popular for her paintings. So her husband cheated on her.
Yes, always.
Yeah. And there was nothing she could really do at that time, since the law was for supporting the men. So even if she applied for a divorce, the law would not support her. Although the cheating was done by her husband. So she started drawing her feelings and emotions, expressing it in her work, because she felt trapped. And most of the women who became a role model in society from a feminine point of view all started from being pressed down by the traditional masculine society rule. And that's how it naturally shifted up to today, where girl crush widely popular amongst girls or female fandom.
보통 이제 남자의 전유물이라고 생각했던 전통이나 관습 이런 것들을 대해서 부당하다라고 목소리를 이제 앞에 나가서 대표적으로 얘기하던 여자들이 이제 여자의 사랑을 더 많이 받았네요. 같은 여자로서도.
Singing and music is a form of expression in your ideas and your moral values.
흑인 음악도 어떻게 보면은 처음에 흑인 노예제도가 있었을 때 그런 사람들을 대변하는 싱어들이 어떻게 보면 나온 거잖아.
Like black people, they got that soul, and that soul don't come from nothing. It comes from something, right? And that something is being oppressed, their freedom being taken away, and stuff like that. It's a form of expression to be free. And leading on to the fandom that we're talking about right now, why there are 95% female fans compared to 5%, whereas before there were a lot of boy fans as well, like male fans as well, is because the trend is shifting. It's all about being oppressed for a long time and getting a chance to speak up, and now the society is accepting that.
블랙핑크가 이슬람인가? 이란인가? 하여튼 뭐 그런 무슬림권에 가서 공연을 한 적이 있는데 진짜 엄청난 그 여자 팬들이 많이 왔다고 하더라고. 왜냐면 거기서는 이제 다 히잡을 쓰고
예.
있고, 근데 이제 그게 아니잖아. 그리고 되게 요새 블랙핑크 앨범들 보면 되게 세거든 좀. 음악도 그렇고. 그게 아마 이런 현상이지 않을까. 이 마켓은 점점점 아시아권에서는 더 커질 가능성이 크겠네요, 이게.
The whole world wants this kind of power, empowerment. Like the countries in Middle East, their culture is so strong that majority of the women feel they are being oppressed really, really hard. And it's kind of like an outlet to see Blackpink perform the freedom of expression. Like these days, there are many male movements supporting the right for men because the female power is getting too stronger and majority of the men are losing their role in society, and at least that's what they think and that's how they feel. So, it's like a balancing game. So I don't know if this movement will, or this trend, or this frame of mindset will keep increasing or get bigger. I don't know about that because there will always be an oppressing side. Yeah. It's like fucking peace, man. It's all about love and peace.
이게 딱 이 정도가 적당한 것 같아. 그러니까 뭔가 우린 약자야 막 이러면서 뭔가 대변하려고 너무 세게 하면 난 좀 그게 또 반대로는 또 역효과가 날 수 있는데 한국 K-팝은 딱 그 정도 선은 지키는 것 같아 좀. 예를 들어서 뭐 지금 뭐 인어공주 영화 나온 거 알죠?
예.
근데 액터가 블랙이잖아.
예.
흑인들을 위해서 했다고 하는데 그거는 흑인들이 원하진 않았거든.
Quite the opposite. They are disrespecting the black community by doing that.
Yes.
It's like, oh, yeah, you've been oppressed for so long, so we'll make this character black. How do you like that? That's what they're doing.
근데 많은 흑인들이 인터뷰를 했는데 원하는 흑인이 아무도 없어.
Of course, no one wants that. It's stupid.
그러니까 why? 굳이?
Yeah, they're
왜?
taking the piss.
근데 이제 K-팝 그 걸그룹 같은 경우는
Yeah.
그런 뭐 사랑에 대한 문제나 그러니까 여자도 충분히 그 정도는 할 수 있다.
Yeah.
그러니까 여자로서의 여성성을 충분히 또 보여주거든. 그렇다고 막 쇼컷하고 나오고 막 뭐 군복 입고 나오진 않잖아. 그 여자가 가진 매력을 충분히 어필을 하면서 여자들도 아 나도 저렇게 예뻐지고 싶다라는 그 동경심도 주면서
That's the one major difference between the East and the West. The Western culture, they go too much. There's no middle. So K-pop and East, yeah. We want to preserve that beauty that a female has. You don't have to go all out looking like a fucking boy and militant warfare kind of shit.
그러니까 거기서부터 약간 경계가 이제 그러니까 여성이 이제 억압받았던 혹은 부당했던 거를 대변하는 게 아니라
Yeah.
뭔가 달라지는 것 같아. 의미가 거기서부터는 조금. 그러니까 본인이 원할 수도 있지. 뭐 스타일적으로. 근데 그거랑은 좀 다른 것 같아.
It's just business and politics. It's all money.
나는 뭐 이런 인어공주 영화에 대한 이슈가 나왔을 때도 아니 그렇게 흑인 애니메이션을 만들고 싶으면 다 새로 만들면 되잖아.
Yeah.
근데 왜 굳이 막 뭐 20년도 넘은 애니메이션을 굳이 원작까지 바꿔가면서 뭐 블랙팬서 이런 거는 되게 인기가 많았던 이유는 뭐야? 원래
Yeah.
그랬으니까.
Exactly.
그리고 최근에도 미국 이제 티네이저 드라마나 그러니까 학교가 배경이 된 드라마들을 보면은 이제 굳이 배역에 얘는 성정체성이 무조건 레스다를 한 명씩 넣더라고. 꼭 보면은 잘못했다라는 게 아니라 그걸 굳이 이렇게 어필할 필요는 없다는 거지. 그러니까 그 사람들은 약자가 아니야. 약자가 아닌데 왜 그거를 굳이 수면 위로 언급해서 얘네 약자니까 보호해. 그게 난 더 약자처럼 보이는 것 같아서.
There's always a hidden agenda when these kind of movements come. But as many people start to realize there's a hidden agenda, then the group that started that hidden agenda released their agenda to the public, and they go all out like a fucking bazooka, like a crazy motherfuckers. So it's dangerous. Like in America, they teach in schools, they teach little boys and girls a book called Gay BC. That shit shouldn't be taught in school. That's what
출산율이 점점 낮아지겠네.
yeah, that's for the parent. What the fuck you teaching that gay shit for? You know? That's for the parent to do, not the school. That's what they're doing. You know?
어쨌든 그러면 한국의 K-pop 걸그룹은 그래도 이런 순기능이 좀 있네요. 그래도 조금 깨끗하게 제대로 하고 있는 거니까 문화 전파를.
예.
그런 부분에서는 되게 좋은 현상 같네요. 한국인으로서도.
Yeah, man. K-pop pride.